Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited that you have been a part of our Because You Asked series. This is where we answer some of your questions that you guys might have about our program. We're going to be going inside just a minute to sit down with our executive director and pastor, Paul Pruitt, and he's going to be tackling the questions that you guys have. As always, we thank you so much for liking us on Facebook. Thank you for liking us on YouTube. If you have not done that, please do so. You can go to our Facebook page, just search Bethel Colony of Mercy. You can also go on YouTube and search us there, and you can find these videos that will be linked there, also linked within our Facebook. If you're looking to sow into our ministry, you can do so at bethelcolony.org. You also can go at Facebook and sow there as well. We're so glad that you're a part of this. Come inside, let's sit down, let's talk a little bit, and let's go over some of these questions that you guys might have. Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us today. This is our Because You Asked series where we tackle various questions that you might have about our program here at Bethel Colony. We do our best trying to answer those throughout each one of these sessions that we do. Today, Pastor Pruitt, the question that we are tackling here is, a lot of people ask this: why do I need detox before I come to Bethel? What's the reasoning behind that? Why do we do that?
That's a good question, and something to really need to think about. And the number one reason is for that individual's safety. We are not a medical facility at all, so we're not equipped with what is required for somebody who could go through DTs and seizures. And sometimes family don't understand this, and somebody who has never taking the time to quit don't even know their own body sometimes, if they're going to go through DTs and seizures. And when it comes to opiates and alcohols and barbiturates or benzos, there can be a dangerous part of the detox there that is needing a medical assistance in it. You can have DTs and seizures, and if we if you aren't in a hospital controlled environment, you could really get hurt.
Yeah, recently just a gentleman that came through our program thought he'd come in here and be able to kind of scoot under the door and not have to go through the detox. And of course we didn't catch it on our end, but he came in and had a seizure, and out of that has been in the hospital for a little while. So because of that happening, it can be detrimental. You can actually get really hurt pretty bad from it. So medically that definitely needs to be taken care of.
I mean, like that situation, whoever comes to Bethel, we're telling them in the application process, you need to be detoxed.
Right.
We're telling them when you're calling them, you have that conversation. Do you need detox? You need to be off X amount of time. And typically we say if it's related to cocaine or crack cocaine or marijuana, we're asking for a minimum of 48 hours. And that's so your brain can clear up there.
Clarity.
So you're not in the fuzz and you're not in the Jones period of your stay there. But also for those who've got alcohol or Xanax or opiates there, we are asking a minimum of 72 hours for that reason of by 72 hours, you're probably going to know if you need to go to a medical detox.
Amen.
Not for you to just say, okay, well, I've come off for 72 hours and I can go on to Bethel. It's for you to make a self-examination of, am I going to need to go to medical detox at that time? And you cover that, and we're limited to your honesty. What they tell you. Because as they've told you, yeah, I'm good, or yes, I've already done that, or yes, I've accomplished what you said, then you're asking them to come on in. And from physical expression and how they're handling themselves is the only thing we got determination is their truthfulness and what they look like or smell like at the moment there. There. And some of them, they're maybe a little shaky, but if they've said they've gone through and followed their instructions there, and they want to go forward, we're kind of limited to that. There, but like this one recently, there he was in a class, and all of a sudden he fell backwards and hit his head pretty good. And then when he got to the hospital, a few days after being in the hospital, he went in full-blown DTs to the point of
heavy DTs.
They had to strap him to the table. And again, so that's reason why is for their own safety there, so they won't hurt themselves or hurt anybody else in the process there. take a minute and explain to them the importance of being truthful in this.
Coming into our program and not being truthful behind what you're saying that's going on, you know, it makes for a lot of cloudiness within your program. It makes a lot of cloudiness as you're going through and you're stepping into your day-to-day here at Bethel. When we call you guys in or call your family individual in to come, the reason for that is we want mental clarity, because they're stepping into a program where they're going to be moving and starting to learn immediately. Yeah. We want that right out of the gate, exactly, because we've got 65 days is all we've got to be able to dump as much knowledge and truth of the Word of God into your life or their life that is going to be beneficial as you walk this thing out. Yeah. So if we only have that limited amount of time and you're coming in and having a detox for a couple of weeks, here at Bethel, if that was the case, we're limited on what we're being able to sow into your life. So that's a lot of it, you know, because we want that time to be able to have a full 65 days, not, you know, 40 days to 30 days.
Talking there, you know, coming off of drugs and opiates and everything, it takes a good 30 days for your mental chemistry to get where it needs to be. Yep. And if you have taken 2 weeks to detox physically, getting out of the sickness, being in bed there, and then it takes 30 days to get your mind right, well, that's 45 days of your program.
Exactly. And you're almost finished.
Right. And we're really getting started. So we need that. I know sometimes, Mark, people lie about the situation. And I think one of the reasons they lie about the situation is they're afraid to lose their bed. But tell them what happens if there. So they've got the assurance of not losing the situation.
So in the moment of someone who is going to be truthful and honest about what's going on, I do my best to typically work with people because I want them to go on and get the help that they need, detoxing, getting off the stuff that they're on. I typically am doing my best to work with those case care workers within detoxes, and so we can coordinate bed-to-bed transition. Not that you're going to go home and wait another 4 weeks before you come into Bethel. Somebody who's taking initiative in their life, really showing the initiative that they're honest and, hey, I've got a problem. I need to get to Bethel. I need Jesus in my life. I'm ready. If you're going to walk this thing out and do it the way that we feel needs to be done, because rightfully so, 65 days, like we've said, is pretty quick. And if you're going to walk out the 2 weeks or whatever, however long it takes for you to detox, I'm going to work my best to try to work with you and your case care worker there at the detox to get you in. So there's no gap. There's no ability of you losing that position within where you're at. You know, if you're doing everything with getting your application done, getting all the testing you need to do, the HIV, TB, and this time of year through March, the flu, and then some other standard things that we might need. If you've went through those processes and done everything on your end, and you're saying, hey, look, I'm still using, I need help, go to detox, we will work with you. We are not going to allow you to be able to walk this thing out and walk back into where you were. We're going to do everything that we can on our part to get you in here.
Amen. Yeah. Well, for those who are helping in this situation, some of the things that we see, that if you follow what we're asking you to do, it tends to eliminate the gaps of failures or relapses there. So if you would really walk with them in this detox process, if they need it there, and help them get there, and then coordinate with Mark in the office there, it'll eliminate those days that, because a lot of times what happens is he needs detox, and I need a bed right now, and we don't have tests, we don't have an application, we don't have a criminal record, or whatever that we need there, and so there's a gap that falls in there. So if we follow the procedure, there's less likely of gaps in it, and not wait until the last minute to get it all done.
That's right. And another thing, just hitting on that, Pastor Pruitt, is the fact of, we understand, and I want you to hear this, we understand your frustration. We understand the frustration you're going through with your loved one, or even in yourself. You know, you might come to a place where you're like, I can't stand myself, and I need help. We understand that frustration, but you've got to be willing to work with us in our manner and be able to hear what we need at the same time. because we're going to do everything on our end to be able to get you in here or get them in here. But we need you to work on your end to do the right things. And a lot of things sometimes happen as family try to smooth over and try to make it a smooth process and saying, well, I don't think he's been doing things, or I've had my eyes on him. Well, physically, unless he stays hooked to your hip, you're not going to keep your eyes on him.
Right.
So you can't say those things. And out of that, we don't know what he's done, or or her, as we open this women's ministry. So out of that, we've got to be mindful of just being honest through that moment, and not enable that behavior. You're still, when you're trying to smooth that over and do everything you can to get them out of your hands into our hands, you're enabling that behavior. You're enabling the time of them needing to take to do all the things that's required of them. And so I see that a lot. I see a lot of families who just want to just take them from here and here. I get that frustration behind that, because you're wanting to get them help and get them where they need to be, but we still got to follow those processes.
It helps eliminate, so there's not the gaps that nobody wants.
That's right. That's right.
So we just want to try to help you and make it as smooth as possible, so there isn't failures in it, but also that everybody is getting out of this what they need to get out of it, and it's not a rubber stamp. It's not just about getting clean. We need to get the clean process done, so we can actually get to the work of training and trusting and learning what a relationship with God is, so they can actually have the encounter with God to become the person that God created them to be.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you, Pastor. Thank you for clearing that up and clarifying a lot of that. That's a big question we get as men are trying to come into our program soon. Women, that's going to be a big question women are going to have. Why do I have to be detoxed? So hopefully this clears up some areas of that question that you might have. If there's any other questions pertaining to this, or any other question you might have, shoot us a message, as this is going to be dropped in all our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you're sharing this with everybody. Comment on this. If you have questions about it, we'd love to be able to help answer those questions for you. So thank you again for all that you do. Thank you for coming and stopping in today.